You may want to precisely describe what happened here, but it is not possible. Everything was happening on the border of reality and unreality. Miracle after miracle, miracle after miracle. This is a great repetition and an extension of the Acts of the Apostles.
It all started with St. Andrew, who, driven by the will to tell what he experienced as an apostle, went up north until he reached the Dnieper River, where today's Kiev is situated. He placed the cross on the hill and he made the prophecy. This cross will become a leaven for the great center of Christianity in this part of the world. After St. Andrew, many struggled to fulfill the prophecy. 900 years later, the cross truly ruled over this place, thanks to the Grand Prince of Kiev, Vladimir the Great. After being baptized, he changed from a mugger and debaucher into a wise and merciful ruler. However, he kept on cruelly punishing the heathen. As a result of the Great Schism, Christianity has been divided into Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic. The lands of today's Ukraine were assigned to the Orthodox Church. Over the centuries, the Greek Catholic Church came into existence. She recognized the dogma and sovereignty of the Pope, but was culturally rooted in the Eastern Rite. 3 churches were coexisting peacefully, becoming the mainstay of cultural and religious identity of the Ukrainian nation. Everything changed once the communists came into power. The church became the greatest enemy of the state. The temples were destroyed, priests and faithful were executed or sent to gulags. The man was no longer needed if he wasn't useful for the communist future. Divorces, abortion, alcoholism became social plagues. The Perestroika, fall of the Soviet Union and independence of Ukraine created a new space for the work of the churches. But years of atheistic propaganda resulted in many Ukrainians living in spiritual emptiness. But God kept on calling people who were to fulfill St. Andrew's prophecy and create the great center of Christianity in this part of the world.
This calling is a strange thing. I always wanted to be a doctor. But during the exam to medical university, a flash, I decided to be a priest. I stood up and walked out. I got to the underground seminary. Being a priest for just 10 months, I got a decree for the whole of east of Ukraine. Without a church, without any people or parish, I only got territory. And off I went into the great unknown. The Catholic Church didn't exist in this region at all. Ever since they executed, in 1938, the parish priest, with over 100 of active parishioners who were defending the church and their faith, nobody remembered anymore that such an institution like a Catholic church had ever existed. Furthermore, nobody even wanted to remember. The church was converted into a repair shop for cinema equipment and a repository for tickets and movie copies. On the 7th of January, 1991, the first after-war Mass was celebrated on the stairs of the church in Kharkiv. 5 people were present. I was very surprised that none of them, even though they claimed to be Christians, knew how to make the sign of the cross. To my calling, "Lord be with you," they replied, "Thank you, Father." This Mass took 1.5 hours, because first I had to explain everything that we do during the Mass, and only then actually do it. It was the beginning of the Catholic Church in the East Ukraine.
Входите, входите, прошу, прошу, прошу. Навіки слава. Навіки слава.
Пан професор, слава Ісусу Христу!
Навіки слава. Ради вас вітати. От Юрій приїжджав.
Jerzy came for the first time, and we started the service. The first Mass was celebrated on the steps. It was a struggle. Passing drivers were revving their engines and honking because they thought we were insane, standing there like that.
I was walking down this street and I saw a gathering. Behind me, people were walking. Sometimes a car passed by. Behind me, there was the world which I belonged to. In front of me, a world which I did not know. I understood that I can't be sitting on the fence any longer. I needed to see where the truth was.
It was already 1991. When in general, the whole society began to have a different point of view of things like the church, faith, God. They were no longer ridiculed and forbidden. Finally, one could speak about them. We did not talk about such topics at home because it was the Soviet Union. So religion was described as an opium for the people, that is, for ignorant people.
We were always saying that the church is for the grannies who know nothing, who never studied, and who don't know that God doesn't exist. And only those grannies in their handkerchiefs with those candles would go to church. I had never read the Bible, so I didn't know. I just knew this atheism of mine, which I was studying at the university.
The career, a role in society, these were the values that were widely promoted. They were perceived as something good, important, something which one should strive to attain. Also, the fight against world imperialism. How can one do without it? When we realized that the Soviet Union is over, then it dawned on me that everything we were taught was a lie, that roughly speaking, they definitely scammed us.